Hi guys, it's Zion here. Hands up if you've ever wanted to start a band and don't really know how to even begin. Well, I'm here to help. And the reason that I'm here to help is because I've been starting bands since I was about 18 or 19 years old. And the last one that I started went on to release albums and play festivals and do all of that good stuff. So I'm somewhat qualified to talk about this sort of thing. And I'm going to start right at the beginning, and I will gradually work through everything from contracts to getting gigs to getting management, anything that you might need to know. And I'll ask for your input as well. So let's start right at that beginning, and that is the actual formation of a band. Now, if you've got a very good idea for a band, maybe you've already got the whole concept, then when you're out there looking for people to join your band, you need to let them know what your concept is straight away. Because if they have strong ideas themselves, then those ideas might clash with yours and then you'll get nowhere. So if you've got that very strong idea, just be honest and upfront because that will work out best. If you don't have much of an idea, then the best thing to do is just try and find people that you get on with and together just see what happens organically. I tend to think that the best bands are probably those that happen organically, even though that's not the way that I went to do things, but that's because I had a very definite, strong idea about what things should be. So you get together with whoever these people are, and you decide on a name. The name that I had for my band was Spit Like This, and it probably didn't match the music to begin with. The music eventually matched it. It was more of an attitude, a way of life, and eventually everything came together. So even though I said like just a couple of minutes ago that I had a really good idea for it, it wasn't a fully formed idea. It was a work in progress, and I was fortunate in so much as I found people that were happy to support my ideas and my experiments until I got it right, or until we all got it right, depending on who you talk to. So choose a name that other people might identify with, other people might understand. It's getting harder and harder, obviously, because there's more and more bands happening all the time. And I noticed that people try and put quirky things, they spell things funny. But the problem is with spelling things funny is sometimes people might not know how to pronounce something. So be careful if you go down that route. And avoid putting I've seen bands with commas and colons and all sorts of things like that in their name. And the problem there is obviously promoters aren't going to be interested in how many fucking commas have I got to put in this. They're just not going to want to know. Having said that, in my band we used to put little i's, so Spit Like This would be in capitals apart from little i's, but people used to actually do that. So you can ignore everything that I've just said if you want, because I don't know, some people are decent and they'll actually do what you want them to. But it's probably not the best thing. So yes, let's go back to plan A. Don't do that. If you're a death metal band, please make sure that your logo is completely illegible. For everybody else, come up with a really cool logo. Think of something that people might want to draw. I'll tell you what, that was one of the best things that we did. I always had this notion that you want to come up with a logo that people can easily draw on their school books. And the logo that we came up with was called the Skullux. And it was just a simple skull with crossed BC Rich Warlock guitars. Kind of, you see, where is it? Kind of like that, but a much simplified version. And that came after the tattoo. So decide on your logo. If you don't have somebody in the band that can draw, then pay for it to be done. Once you get to the point, don't do it on day one, but once you think, hey, we're actually going somewhere, then get professionals involved, okay? The music, you need to either work together to see where the music's going to go, or if there is one songwriter, then if they're really good, let them go with it. Same as if there's a natural leader within the band, then let them lead. Don't let your ego get in the way, because I'll tell you what, often those leaders are really, really good and they know what they're doing, and it's just a good idea to like hang on to their coattails and see where they can take you. What would be next? I've got notes down here. Draw up a band agreement. If you manage to make it through rehearsals and you're thinking about doing some gigs and you're hoping that you'll actually end up with some sort of career, then in the early days, just come up with a little agreement between the band. You need to decide on things like royalties, who gets what, basically, who owns what. And it's much better to do that at the beginning when there is no money than later on down the road when there might be some money and people start getting greedy and their hindsight becomes a bit blurry, shall we say. And write songs, lots of songs. Write. And then once you've written lots of songs, rehearse. Do not book your first gig until you are the absolute fucking dog's bollocks. Also make sure that you've got all your own equipment. Don't go around borrowing other bands' equipment all the time, because that just makes you look like an unprofessional numpty, and we don't like unprofessional numpties. If you've got the facility, which obviously is much easier these days than it was back in my day, if you've got the facility, record your rehearsals and then listen back to them and see where improvements can be made and improve upon them. There's a fuck of a lot of competition out there. Are we nearly done? Yes, we're nearly done. Don't gig until you're ready. That's the last little note that I've got down there, and I said that a couple of minutes ago. So that is it for part 1. There will be other parts, and in those parts we shall cover getting your first gig, how to conduct yourselves, marketing, ideas to bring in money, managers, record deals, publishing deals, touring, and releasing your music. This is all stuff that I actually have information for you on. Yes, that's quite right. So if you want to find out about that, then I would highly recommend that you subscribe so that you don't miss a future episode, if this is an episode. Yes, I guess it is an episode. And give the video a thumbs up. I hope it's been useful. And remember, if you do go on to make shitloads of cash, and this advice was the thing that actually kick-started you to doing that, you owe me 10%. And that's it for today. Give the video a like, thumbs up, share it, comment. Yes, comment. Yes, comment. I always forget the fucking comments. I want to hear from you guys. If you've got any specific questions, do ask them below, and I will do my utmost to try and answer them for you. That is it for today. Have a lovely life, and I shall see you again soon. Ta-ta! And then in the harmonies, we've got us going wop, 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 wop. Who else does fucking wop, wop?
I don't know.
No,
Really?
no one. And they fucking should. We should have been fucking huge, and everyone would have worshipped at our wop,
Go
wops.
run, go.